is such an important thing, because Ripple could now afford this after the lawsuit and also got the legal clarity to have a new payment processor. And again, this is very big for XRP. XRP is probably gonna have to handle worldwide transactions with this, which is what I've been telling you guys. They're one step closer to getting worldwide. They can't transfer that yet, or they can't process, 7 billion people, maybe 200 million, but they're forcing themselves or pushing themselves to go worldwide, guys. Absolutely insane content.
The latest acquisition is challenging Swift. If you haven't heard of a company called Rail, don't worry, I have all the information to keep you up to date. Let's go ahead and get into this and how this is going to benefit XRP holders. Paul Barron said it first here. Swift warning, Ripple has just acquired Rail Finance for $200 million.
$200 million.
This isn't just another crypto acquisition. It's a strategic play that could reshape how businesses move money globally. So, they're wanting to challenge Swift's dominance here, long-standing dominance over cross-border transaction infrastructure. Why this Rail acquisition matters for Ripple: immediate scale and global reach. Rail processes over 10% of the global.
So yeah, guys, if you don't know, Ripple is basically also going for RWA, real-world assets, and basically stablecoin payments. So that has been their main thing. It's trying to hit different markets because the crypto markets are expanding very fast. If you're the first thing, like Amazon was the first thing in making deliveries, you can actually get that big market share before anyone else. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It's like we are in a startup phase for crypto.
B2B stablecoin payments amounting to billions in annual volume. This gives Ripple an instant leap in transaction flow and global payment network presence. So understand, right now they're only processing 10% of business to business via stablecoins. But think about this. We're being told by the US government that they think the stablecoin market is going to grow into the multi-trillions just in the next few years. So looking at these numbers, I know it's like, Sensei, 10 billion is not a lot. I totally get that. But where do you think this is going to be? 2 or 3?
So yeah, the US government is definitely going to go more bullish on crypto overall and stablecoin market. That's why banks are starting to use it. And once we have the banks coming in, wow, look at that, 10%, even owning 10% of all these transfers. If these transfers are going to become from billions to trillions, I feel like they can get that 200 million back very fast. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to scale.
3 or 5 years from now, this could be a huge acquisition down the line. Transforming settlement speeds. Rail's infrastructure enables cross-border settlements that typically take days via Swift now settle in hours or even minutes using stablecoins. This is a dramatic improvement in speed, crucial for businesses managing global cash flow. The cost and savings for businesses: the new combined platform can reduce payment costs by 80% or more compared to legacy banking and wire transfers. This is possibly thanks to seamless stablecoin rails and automated treasury and back office infrastructure. It also says stablecoin sandwich tech. Rail pioneered technology that bridges fiat and blockchain stablecoin businesses, and banks can transfer value in and out of stablecoin based rails without directly managing crypto wallets.
So yeah, that's what banks want to do. They want to do it very easily and they want to do it fast. And XRP is going to do that for them for a fee. And they're going to earn a bit of percentage every time this happens. So I feel like this is going to be the big news that most people are looking for. What XRP is doing is a compliant hybrid model that matches real-world regulatory needs when unlocking the advantages of blockchain settlement. So what that means is basically they are going to fix a lot of the problems banks are having right now for a small transaction fee and slowly recoup those 200 million for the company they bought.
Accounts. This creates a compliant.
Swift is a big thing. It's a big market share, and they're getting so many fees. They're getting trillions and trillions, basically, of that small percentage fees, which is a few billion per year. Again, this is what Ripple is trying to do. It's not just trying to hit crypto. It's trying to go 10 times larger.
And hybrid model that matches real-world regulatory needs while unlocking the advantages of blockchain settlement. Virtual accounts and automated compliance. Rails platform brings
would be nice.
IBAN
Retirement
accounts,
plan,
automated treasury flows, and strong compliance framework, enabling businesses to run global operations without managing dozens of foreign banking partners. The regulatory alignment is 24/7 operation with recent U.S. stablecoin regulation. Ripple and Rail together offer a solution that meets the new global standards, operates around the clock, and avoids traditional banking cutoffs. And so the strategic impact for Ripple versus Swift here, challenging Swift's $3 trillion stronghold.
So yeah, the number one issue in crypto right now is how much the banks are having issues buying crypto. You need to make an account, you need to do this and that. When it's going to be all simplified, again, why is Amazon making so much money? Because it's very simple to use. And this is what Ripple is trying to do. It's trying to make purchases simple for everyone. And it's going to make a lot of money for people. The SEC lawsuit being over is just the start.
Dominates the traditional $3 trillion cross-border payments industry, but it operates on an aging, fragmented infrastructure prone to delays, high fees, and business hour limitations. Ripple's move positions in a viable alternative, especially for corporate and financial clients looking for real-time, reliable, and low-cost money movement. End-to-end, all-in-one platform, Ripple can now offer an end-to-end solution, stablecoin issuance, RLUSD, settlement rails, compliance, virtual accounts, and back-office automation, all under one global API. This level of integration gives Ripple a strong value proposition versus the piecemeal account-based world of Swift. Of course, enhanced competitive assets. This acquisition not only accelerates Ripple's stablecoin ambitions, but it also lets it rapidly expand its enterprise customer base, bank partners, and regulatory partnerships around the globe. Why businesses care: minutes, not days, lower cost, no crypto balance.
So yeah, I think XRP's number one plan is to get costs low as possible when sending these transfers. That's why banks want to really use them, is because all these transfers we're having right now can get very expensive for banks. And if we can make it just maybe a 10% of the total cost we're having now, it would save banks probably millions per month. And that's why they love using Ripple. Fast transactions and cheap. You can send it for like 1/20th of a penny. You can send your transaction, and that's exactly what banks want. They want, the more transactions banks have, the more money they get in fees.
Sheet risk and ready for regulation. Now, the benefit here that
So powers over 10% of all global business-to-business stablecoin payments. But the thing is, Ripple realizes that right now crypto is about to boom. What happens is right now they will have a bigger and bigger market share with more and more people coming in. It's absolutely a win-win for everyone.
I see is there's going to be a lot of these companies that get gobbled up, right? Banks, especially right now, are looking for infrastructure.
Smash that like button, guys. Thank you so much.
So this could, I know we're looking at this like, 10 billion or 6 billion. That's not a whole lot of money right now, but where is this going to be years down the line? Also, Ripple could buy this company, use, its technology to better their own. And then if they're looking to sell it.
I definitely feel like they're going to use the technology that Rail has to literally look how to make it better. It's going to be a win-win for them. They probably bought all the patents as well, all the, things that would make transactions faster, because Rail is like a competitor to Swift. But combining Rail and Ripple together, all the employees, all the expertise, is basically like combining Facebook and Amazon together to become the next big thing.
Down the line, they could also do that. But you got to understand, there's just so many pieces on the board right now, and Ripple wants to be the most strategic crypto infrastructure company on the planet, and to do that they're going to need to make more of these acquisitions. So it was just a matter of time before we heard something.
So now that they're making more money with bank partnerships, they could just like buy all the companies and have a bigger market share of everything, like dip their toes, because the more money you make, the more partnerships you make, also means you need more employees. So that's what they're focusing on right now.
Something like this. But here you go. Crypto Eerie said Ripple acquires Rail. Rail Finance powers 10% of global B2B stablecoin payments volume. Hey fam, please don't tell Caitlin Long why Ripple was the perfect fit. Premium digital asset liquidity, including RLUSD and XRP, alongside like USDT and USDC. Chad Steingraber also pointed out that Rail is connected through FedWire, ACH, SEPA, FPS, and SWIFT. So this does give Ripple some direct access into these systems. We've shown on this channel many times that Ripple's already interconnected through partners to all of these systems, but here is just now a direct connection into those systems that Ripple will actually own instead of going into through a third party or a partner. Now Ripple is there, right? And so here is the supported payment rails: crypto, Fedwire, ACH US, SEPA EU, FPS UK, and SWIFT. So that's really good to see. And then here,
Rail is joining Ripple, a huge milestone in our mission to build trusted enterprise-grade infrastructure for global payments. We power 10% of all business-to-business stablecoin volume. Again, Ripple knows that stablecoins are going to be used for the future of payments, especially businesses will start to use it because the governments have literally confirmed it. And they're saying, we are going to have a big thing, planned. This deal proposition as a leading provider of cross-border stablecoin payment infrastructure and gives Rail the ability to scale with more speed and certainty. We'll do that together. So seeing that 10% rise with you and Ripple lead. So it literally will make the transactions even faster than it was before, forcing the banks to work with them. This is a $200 million buy and nobody's talking about this. Nobody on the crypto news. And again, this got only 100K impressions. That's why I love showing it on this channel. Nobody wants to show this type of news because it might be boring to some people, but this is what in the end makes Ripple the most money. The SEC lawsuit is definitely nice, but these type of transactions are what's working the engine, what's working in the background.
Partnerships like this, you see when Ripple is interested about announcing their partnership, they go out of their way to not only have the company announce it, but Ripple will also announce it too. I've seen a lot of people say that, hey, we're going to be working with Ripple, but Ripple's very quiet about working with that company. Here is, the exact example of what you want to see when companies do get acquired in the crypto space. Both sides are talking about it. And then, of course, Crypto Eerie is really bullish on this. Also,
Metacorp to distribute the stable coins from Ripple and supercharge stable X for cross-border payments. So another listing for the stable coins as well. I feel like the more time passes, the more Ripple is going to be listed on all these exchanges. It's just a smaller news because most of these are, small companies. They don't really bring that much volume. But again, these small companies will lead up to the big listings.
To distribute RLUSD stablecoin and supercharged stable X for cross-border payments. This is today's date. Metacorp lists RLUSD for stable X, bringing Ripple's USD stablecoin to its FX infrastructure to enable fast, compliant cross-border payments in 31 currencies. Talks about, this is a Singapore Presswire. Metacorp, a leading Singapore-based license provider for stablecoins powered cross-border payment infrastructure, announced the distribution of Ripple RLUSD and Ripple's native USD-denominated stablecoin issued by Standard Custody and Trust Company LLC, a wholly owned subsidiary of Ripple Labs. Metacorp will provide institutional access to RLUSD through its compliant infrastructure. So that's actually pretty cool too. 31 supported currencies, so interconnecting Ripple's technology with the rest of the world. I'd imagine you're going to get a whole lot more connections here. Just a little bit more information.
I don't feel like this is that great of a news. Again, that's why most people are not talking about this. It is good news. I don't think it's going to change, the whole price of XRP, but I feel like more people from Singapore, maybe a small percentage, who want to do business in stablecoins will now have that option available when we are getting more regulatory clarity in September of 2025.
Information about Metacorp, if you didn't know, Metacorp is a leading Singapore-based digital asset platform licensed and regulated by the Monetary Authority of Singapore under the Payment Services Act of 2019, operating a person-to-business.
You have to turn them up by a lot. That's the max as it goes.
To company, person to bank to company, platform, business partners to clients model. Metacorp enables institutions, payment service providers, fintechs, and global enterprises to confidently navigate.
I feel like something is wrong with my audio here, but we get the point here that, Metacorp entering is the next big thing that we are trying to see here. It's becoming like a, bunch of collaborations coming together. I still feel like the biggest news that we have right now is XRP being listed as commodity, XRP having all these updates, that is the big thing that people have been waiting for. And this is the next phase for crypto. This is a big multiplier